This is George from High Tech Legion. Typically, when it comes to a gaming mouse and gaming surface, there are really two groups of people in the world. Those who get really excited about it, and those who don't. I freely admit that I tend to be in the latter. Typically, I don't get too excited about a mouse or a gaming surface. However, last year when Func introduced the MS3, I really was inclined to think that somebody had finally made something close to the perfect mouse. Now, about a year has passed, and Func is introducing the R2 of the MS3, as well as Rev 2 of the Surface 1030, two of the most acclaimed products on the market, with some little tweaks and improvements, and we're going to take a look at them today. First, let's get a look at the MS3 Rev 2. Quick look at the box gives us the updates that have been made. 10 million cycle Omron switches. For those of you unaware, Omron switches are the most durable and claimed to be the most responsive on the market. Improved cable. They have upgraded the cable and where the cable meets the mouse itself, so it's going to be less likely to wear. Better Windows 8 support. There have been reported problems with Windows 8 with Func MS3. However, it wasn't an MS3 problem. It was typically a problem of people not having updated USB drivers in their Windows 8 systems, which was causing some conflicts. An update to your USB driver will take care of that without a problem. Firmware updater is now included in their software. Extended macros. New improved scroll wheel. Settings software 1.22, which is an update to their settings software, and their new firmware 1.1c, which makes it a little bit more friendly in most settings. Moving around the back, we see the ergonomically designed grip, GI, RGB color control on the scroll wheel, as well as the side button. And they are independent, so you can have them two different colors if you like in different profiles. T4 thumb wheels, better placement, or I should say thumb buttons, better placement on the thumb buttons, so you do have a little bit more control there. Dedicated aim button, which is going to change the DPI to a preset DPI for more control while you're aiming. So you've definitely got some nice things going on here with the MS3 Rev 2 and some nice updates. Getting a look at the MS3 itself. As I say, when I said that Func may have designed the perfect mouse, it is ergonomically one of the most comfortable mice you'll ever see. I mean, it's a very subjective thing, especially with mice. It's all going to depend on your hand size, the way you use it and whatnot. But as far as laying your hand into the mouse, nothing quite fits it like the Func design. It's really beautifully ergonomic. As you can see on the right side, you've got the finger grips along the side. You've got a very nice thumb area right here. And one of the nice things, you've got 9 buttons here, and 4 of them are actually located in your thumb area. You've got a push down the bottom, 2 up top, back and forward, and your aim button right in the center of the thumb grip. So you've really got great control. It's very easy to hold, very easy to pick up if you're somebody who picks up during gaming without having to claw grip it or anything else. Your hand just lays right into it. Now, one of the really nice things, using it for productivity, it's just so comfortable to use. You can use it all day. You're not going to get hand cramps, anything of that nature. Just really a beautiful ergonomic design. Now, we took a look at the 4 buttons over here. You've got more up top. You've got another 5, obviously your left and right. You've got another button up here, which is typically assigned to profile changer, as you do have 3 profiles for the mouse, which can be programmed through the software. You've got scroll wheel, also, once again, with a click, and your DPI up and down buttons right here, which, of course, also can be reassigned. Now, it does go up to 5670 DPI all the way down to 90, so it is selectable in 3 steps in each profile, so you can change it on the fly. Now, your profiles, once again, 3 profiles can be changed on the fly as well, so if you've got it set up 2 different profiles for a single game or whatnot, or 2 different profiles for different types of productivity, you can change on the fly without a problem. Down the bottom, pads are perfectly smooth, as you see. Very large surface area down the bottom and very large pads is going to make for very, very quick, smooth, accurate movements. Laser right up top, like I say, up to 5670 DPI with 1000 Hertz polling rate. So really a beautifully constructed mouse, also very solid feeling. Also not very heavy in any way, shape, or form. It's just a really light mouse, but feels really solid. Great looking. You've got 3 meter cable, USB. Once again, as I say, it is a driverless design. Software is used only for changing your profiles, recording macros, etc. So simply plug it in and it's going to work. On Windows 8, make sure your USB drivers are up to date, as I say. Very nice braided cable, very strong, good reinforcement at the joints as you see here. So MS3 is a beautifully constructed mouse. Taking a look at what's included with the MS3, first thing you find is a card that basically says what I've said a couple of times already. If you're having a problem in Windows 8, make sure your USB controller drivers are up to date. So, little card just noting that. Next thing, MS3 settings software, which is on a CD, of course, is also able to be downloaded from the func.net site as well. And finally, gaming mouse product manual. And when you flip through, obviously, all of your default programs are listed here. And one of the really nice things is there's an actual guide for getting going on your software. And all of the software itself is explained. It is very intuitive, very easy to use software, but it's nice to have an explanation as well, especially, a couple of things on how to use them are going to get a little bit tricky. And troubleshooting guide, and finally, other Func products you can take a look at. Func's included software for the MS3 is actually very powerful, but very, very intuitive. As you bring it up, it brings you straight to basic settings. Now up top you see you've got 3 profiles to choose from, and they're all individually programmable, and can be run through on the mouse on the fly. So let's just take a look here. We'll just use Profile 1, Basic Settings. You've got your 3 DPI steps, which can be set to your liking. As you see, 1 actually comes through with a very low DPI, so going to be a little bit slower moving, and you can adjust them as you like. Say DPI 1 to 900, DPI 2, bring it up to about 1440, and finally DPI 3, bring it up to say 2610. Now your instant aim, dedicated DPI for the side button for instant aim. Hold it down and it will change your DPI as long as you're holding the button down. So you can slow it down, get much more accurate aiming. And you can also separate your X and Y axis if you like on your instant aim, as you see, or keep them both together, as you see here. And when you depress the side button on the mouse, you're going to switch over to that DPI. Pointer sensitivity, obviously, same as what we've seen in Windows. Lift-off distance can be set low, medium, or high if you are somebody who lifts up the mouse and you want to set up just how high you can lift it before it loses tracking. That can be set right there. Double-click speed, obviously from low to high. Scroll speed for the scroll wheel, or the option to scroll by page. Down the bottom, angle snapping and pointer acceleration on and off. And your polling rate, which comes set to 500 out of the box, but can be set as low as 125 Hertz or all the way up to 1000 Hertz. Moving over to the button assignment, you can reassign any of the 10 buttons as well as the scroll up and down on the mouse itself. Simple drop-down menus, default commands, Windows commands, media functions, a recorded macro, single key assignment, or you can disable the key entirely. And it's easy as just simply selecting. You have to have a left click and a right click somewhere, obviously, but you can obviously change the rest without a problem. And you can change your number 8 to a scroll click if you like. But we're going to leave it at profile cycle. Now, color settings, very interesting. Actually all RGB, and you can set up the scroll wheel and the side button independently. This is actually kind of interesting. When you're doing your profiles, you can keep your scroll wheel the same color through all 3 profiles and have your side button LED change, or you can have it all change. That way you have a visual indicator of which profile that you're on. So let's just take a look at how that works. Right now, as you can see, we're set to all yellow. And if we want to change just the side button, maybe make it yellow and blue as an indicator for profile 1, simply apply. And we'll see the apply go across. And got a blue side button now with the yellow scroll wheel. We want to change that scroll wheel color, obviously. Same thing applies if we want to go to an orange scroll wheel. Simply pick your color, hit apply, and your change will occur. So very easy setup on the colors. Macro editor, once again, very simple to use. Simply hit record, do exactly what you want your right macro to do, or I should say your macro to do. Stop recording. You can name it anything you like and simply save it. You now have it in the macro. When you go back to your button assignments and you want to choose a macro, save for button 4, and you go to your recorded macro, it's right there to assign. Moving over to the firmware update, it will come up secondary mouse might be needed to perform this update. I haven't run into that, and I've done firmware updates on both the MS3 Rev 1 and Rev 2. Simply browse for your firmware update, select it, hit update, and it will apply. This mouse is already updated, so no reason to update it here. And finally, you've got just a quick link to func.net, the website where you can download any of the software or firmware updates, or check if there is a firmware update that is available. And finally, you can back up all your settings to a specific location or restore all of your settings from a specific location. So very powerful, very intuitive software on the MS3, and also incredibly simple to use. Next, let's get a look at the Surface 1030 Rev 2 L. L stands for large. There also is an XL available, which is about 1.5 inches larger in both directions. As you can see on the bottom, it's marked, and you can see the size variance. Taking a quick look, obviously not a whole lot to see here. Integrated cord clip, original dual-sided gaming surface, large tracking area, and large rubber feet to keep it stuck to the desk. Going down here, just real quickly, poly-carbonate material for the mousing surface, 13 by 10 inches, and weighs in at 1.28 pounds and is 0.6 millimeters thick. Or I should say 0.16 inches thick. Now, moving inside, open up the box, and on top of the box, we get a quick blurb about Func itself. Starting in 1999 in California, a group of gamers tired of their gear not cutting it. Kind of funny that it started in 1999 in California, which is the time frame Red Bull was introduced into California as the first U.S. market. But that's a tale for another time. Taking a look at the 1030 Rev 2, as you can see, beautiful looking mouse pad, dual-sided, as the box says. You've got a textured side for greater tracking, and a completely smooth side for faster movements. Depending on your style of gaming, you can flip it over without a problem to use the side that suits you best for the what you're doing at that particular moment, or the game you're playing. Or if you're doing any productivity, you might have a preference to greater accuracy with the rough side, or you want fast movement with the smooth side. Either way, very, very nice looking pad itself. As you can see, Func logo on both sides. Very durable, a little bit flexible, but you don't want to bend it too much. Now, take a look at the base. Integrated cord clip, as you see here, which is removable and can be put on either side. You see there are 2 notches up at the top of the rubber base, so you can just clip it on to either side without a problem. And base itself, like I say, rubber, totally flexible, and large rubber feet. That's going to keep the mouse pad itself from sliding on your surface area. So you've got a very, very good, stable environment to mouse with. Once again, press it down, and you've got the rough area. So you've got really great tracking. You've got a smooth surface for faster gaming. It's going to stay put to the desk without a problem. You're not going to get any sliding. You've got the cord holder. Really a beautiful design from Func. With the MS3 Rev 2 and the 1030 Surface, Rev 2. Func has got a really good winning combination here. The MS3 is really a fantastic mouse, and now they've improved it with Omron switches, upgraded scroll wheel, a little bit better firmware. The software itself is very intuitive, easy to use, very, very powerful. The mouse itself is incredibly comfortable. Probably the most comfortable mouse I've ever used, whether I'm gaming or doing productivity apps. So now the Func 1030 Surface and the MS3 Rev 2 are both going to get Editor's Choice Awards from High Tech Legion. One of the things that makes the MS3 even better is the fact that it's actually lowered in price, $20 from the original MS3 down to $59.95, manufacturer's suggested retail price. You're not going to get a mouse with this type of capabilities at that kind of price, especially not with this kind of quality. The Surface 1030L Rev 2 is right now $39.95. Very good buy on that as well. Perfect surface. Great dual-sided capabilities. Very smooth on one side, absolutely flawless in its movements, and the other side has superior tracking, as we saw. It's really fantastic. So great combination from Func, and winner of a High Tech Legion Editor's Choice Award.